I gave my son the car keys behind my husband's back, thinking it was no big deal. Now my husband won't discipline our kids at all, and I'm left trying to manage the chaos alone. How did everything go so wrong? Let me first say my oldest son is in his last year of high school and is not the biological son of my husband. My husband and I have been married for 14 years now and have 2 other beautiful children together. My oldest son's father is not in the picture. My husband is a dad in all aspects to my son. All the above is just to clarify our dynamics. I do love him a lot, as he cares for me and all the kids the same. I have never seen any favoritism of any kind towards another. 2 weeks ago, while my husband and I were on our way home on the highway, a car came speeding past us. My husband asked me if that was our son because it was the exact same car as the one we bought him. My husband sped up and caught up to the car. I think we were doing 95 when we caught up, don't quote me on the speed, please. I only remember my husband saying, "Why in the hell is he driving 90? It was our son driving, and he was on his phone while speeding through traffic. I think he was texting because we could clearly see him using both hands with his phone from the opposite lane. I wanted my husband to honk at him, but he said, no, that might just catch him off guard and cause an accident. When we got home, we parked behind our son. My husband walked into the living room and just held out his hand and said, "Give me the keys." My son asked why, and my husband raised his voice, saying, "Give me the fucking keys." When my son took the keys out of his pocket, my husband grabbed them and told him, "You are no longer allowed to drive that car," and then he left the room. My son looked at me and asked, "What is going on?" I told him we saw him on the highway. His eyes got all big, and he struggled to say anything. About an hour later, I heard my husband yell from the kitchen, "I don't give a fuck about your job or school. You can walk, take the bike, or the bus, I do not care. You will not be driving that car again." My son went to him and apologized, asking for the keys back because he needed to get to work. A week ago, my son came to me and asked for the keys because he needed to get to work and it was raining. He apologized to me again and said it wouldn't happen again. I relented and gave him the keys, and he went off to work. When my husband came home, without saying hello, he just asked, "Where's the car?" I told him that I gave the keys back to our son so he could get to work. He used the same line on me, saying, "I told him, and you heard me, that he isn't allowed to drive anymore. He could have taken a bike, bus, or walked." I told him it was raining, so I gave him the keys. I told him that my son apologized and said it would never happen again. My husband cut me off and said, "An apology won't stop an accident or bring him or others back from the dead. He hasn't learned a damn thing." I told him I paid for half the car and it was a gift from us to my son, so I also have a say in what happens to it. He looked at me and said, "Okay, fine. All parental decisions will now fall to you. You are the authority on that. So, everything is now in your head." Since then, my husband hasn't done a single thing for my son or any of the other kids regarding discipline. When they ask for something, he just says, "Go ask your mother." Our kids are having free reign around him, and he just steps over every mess they make. When I asked him why he didn't stop our youngest from writing on the walls, he just shrugged and walked off. I tried to talk to him, and he said, "You got what you asked for. No matter what I do, you seem to be the authority on any decision regarding our kids, so I just removed the middleman. You can deal with them," and he walked off. What do I do? How can I get him to help parent our kids again? I am at the end of my rope, and the kids aren't really listening to me like they do to him. But now he's just allowing them to do whatever they want.